Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. In today's video, I thought I'd do a full face get ready with me tutorial using all my favorite products. Now you know I do a lot of Foundation Friday videos and a lot of review videos, and people often ask me like, so what are your Holy Grail products at the moment? So I thought it would be a lot of fun to take all my Holy Grail products that I'm loving right now and do the full face of makeup with it. When I want to look my best, these are the things that I reach for and put on. Now I'm going to warn you in advance, it is a lot of makeup. We have concealers, we have foundation, we have primer, we have contouring, the works. So this is going to be kind of a long tutorial because I did just a talk through version. But what you'll find through the talk is that I'll give you a lot of tips and tricks, especially for older people, for mature people who have less than perfect skin. I know that a lot of mature people, when they watch YouTube videos from the younger girls and then go try the techniques, they get really frustrated because what works on them doesn't necessarily work for us. So sit back and relax or follow along, and I'll see you on the other side. I already have my skin prepped with all my moisturizers and lotions and potions that I did when I got out of the shower. Then I put on my sunscreen, which is the Hydropeptide Solar Defense 30. Now that doesn't play well with my Holy Grail foundation, so I have to use a primer in between. So the primer that I use pretty much all the time that I absolutely love is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer. Pea-sized amount of that. And I need it everywhere, not just on the trouble spots, so that it makes the foundation and the sunscreen not have a reaction. What happens is it seems to like pill and ball when I put it on, and that happens when you have something that is like a silicone base that's reacting with a water base. All right, I'm going to let that set up for a few minutes. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and do the eyeshadow primer. My Holy Grail eyeshadow primer is the Tarte Clean Slate 360 Creaseless 12 Hour Smoothing Eye Primer. I just put a little dab on the back of my hand and then pick it up with my fingers and apply to my eyelid. I go from the lashes all the way up to my eyebrow because this is smoothing. So I like to get it all the way up there to really smooth out that crepiness in my hood. Right, next I'm going to do a little under eye concealer. I really didn't have a Holy Grail product for this, so I recently tried this product and I really like it a lot. It's the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. I have it in medium light neutral. I think I would prefer it one shade lighter. Run it on the dark side of my little eye bag there and up onto the side of my nose. And then I just press that in. What's nice about this is it doesn't give me that alligator skin that I get with a lot of concealers right here in the inner corner of my eye. And then I just kind of dabble a little bit of it across there. What I'm going for under my eyes is the lightest possible application of concealer so that it doesn't accentuate my wrinkles under there. All right, just going to repeat on the other side. While that primer continues to set, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeshadow. That way if I happen to get any fallout, I can sweep it away before I put on my foundation. So for my current Holy Grail eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the MAC X15 palette. This is the Nordstrom Edit. Absolutely love this. I bought it a few weeks ago, and it has really replaced all my other palettes as my go-to eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to be using my Holy Grail brushes as well. So I'm going to start first with my IT Cosmetics No Tug All Over shader. The lightest color in the upper right hand corner. I'm just going to apply that to the movable part of my lid and into the inner corner and all over the lid and up into the crease. Next I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics No Tug Crease Brush, and I'm going to dip that into Wedge. This is a matte, and I'm going to put that up in the crease and a little bit above there. And I'm going to bring it down onto the outer third, creating that little outer V. I'm going to just let my eye go relaxed and natural so I can see if I have it up high enough to really disguise that hood. So now I'm just going to go ahead with whatever's left on the brush and just go up a little bit higher there to make sure that I can make that hood really recede. and repeat on the other eye. Now I often will go over and lift up my eyelid just so I can get it to be nice and smooth so I don't have that skipping. If you're my age or near, you know about the skipping with the crepey hooded eyelids. If you're younger, you have no clue what it's like. Oh, to have those nice young eyelids again. Next, I'm going to use my MAC 221 brush and the color Mystery over here in the middle row at the outside. This is my favorite brush for doing a little darker color at the outer corner and in the crease. I'm just going to apply that in like a little wedge shape on the outer third of my eye, angled from the outer corner of the crease into the middle by my iris. And I'm going to bring that up into the crease to really define that shape. Then to blend that, I'm going to use my Beauty Junkies Pro Tapered Blending Brush. I'm going to lift up the outer corner of my eye again, and I'm just going to give that little blending motions to blend that out. Just going to add a little gold shimmer to the center of the eyelid. I'm going to go in with Gold Bit right here and my Japanesque 213 brush. And be sure to hit the inner corner. I feel like there wasn't really any fallout, but I'm just going to brush off my cheeks. So my Holy Grail foundation is the Chanel Perfection Lumiere Velvet. I'm using it in the color 30 Beige today. I just put about 3 drops on the back of my hand to start with. And I just pick those up with my finger, dot it on. I start on my cheek. For the forehead and around the sides. And then of course, you have to bring it down your neck. I feel like separate concealer, all it does is make my blemishes really dry out and they never match the color. So I just use a little extra foundation. Just dab that on where I need it, then I know I'm going to get it to blend in perfectly and be the right color. Next we'll move on to contouring. My favorite kit right now is the Anastasia Powder Contour Kit, and my favorite brushes to use are from the Beauty Junkies Pro Contouring Set. From this kit I really love the brown tone in the middle. It's nice and neutral, so I just pick that up on the detailer brush. And to do my cheek contouring, yes, I use this tiny brush. I start back here at my ear, and I just draw a little line forward. Right underneath my cheekbone. And then I blend that out with the sculptor brush. Then I always like to do a little bit underneath the jawbone. I really don't do much more than that on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes I'll do a little bit on my nose for YouTube. And then if I do that, I'll usually highlight a little bit, so I'll use a little bit of the yellow powder just to go down the center of my nose. Yellow to brighten up the eye baggies. So again, with the blending brush, that's it for the contouring. All right, next is blush. My current favorite blush is a new one that I just got. It's from NYX. It's their cream blush. This is in Rose Petal. I have never been a huge fan of cream blushes because I always tried to put them on with my fingers. I always felt that it smeared my makeup, but I recently picked this one up to try it again because I know, you know, there's those rules for us older women that say use cream instead of powder. And while I love a powder blush and I have a bunch, I just wanted to try a cream in a different way. So I use this one, but instead of doing my fingers like I used to, I have been using the Real Technique stippling brush to apply it, and this looks great and has worked wonders with my application. So I just pick up a little of that on the brush, and then I start, you know, not in the front, on the center. I usually start a little bit back here and just work it forward in small circular motions. And I find that then I get a nice natural looking blush that is nice and creamy. So remember to keep your blush kind of nice and high on the apple of your cheek. You don't want to be putting it on down here or too far to the front. Which I feel like as we age, a lot of our problems are happening right here between the tear trough, the eye bags, the lack of volume in the cheeks. I feel like this is just a problem area that you know, you want to kind of avoid putting too much makeup right in there. So that's why I like to keep my blush back a little farther and just feather it forward a little bit. All right, on to the highlighting. Brand new, very favorite highlighter. Oh my gosh, do I love this stuff. It's from Becca, Shimmering Skin Perfector Spotlight. So basically I just take a little bit of that, run it along the top of my cheekbone, and then I use this Pro Highlighter brush from the Beauty Junkies Contour Kit. And I just blend that out right into the blush. This is what I was wearing in my lookbook recently, and some people are actually like, what did you do to your cheeks? Did you have your Voluma redone? And no, I didn't, but I think it was this highlighter that just made my cheeks look really, like, made them pop and look really round and really full. And then the last step for the face is a little bit of setting powder, not everywhere because you don't want to look all cakey, just in the places for me that I need it. I find this is really smoothing, makes my pores like practically disappear, better than any kind of primer. This is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores HD powder. I apply it with a $3 brush from Target. This is the e.l.f. blush brush. Tap a little bit of this out into the lid. I probably won't even use that much. Pick up a little bit, tap my brush off, then I set my under eye makeup, and the other places that I don't like to be shiny, right here in the middle of my forehead where I also have enlarged pores, so this helps to make them look smaller. I like to go right into my nasal labial folds with it, and then where I have my ripply chin skin, I don't like my chin to be shiny either. And now my face makeup is done. The eyes. I was going to finish off the eyes. So I like to line the inner waterline with a nice light bright color. Since I've gone with kind of a neutral golden look today, I'm going to use one of my absolute favorite eyeliner pencils. This is for the Sephora brand. This is their 12-hour contour eye pencil. It's waterproof. It comes in great colors, off-white shimmer. Pop it right into my lower waterline. Can put a little in the inner corner as well. Another of my favorite eyeliners is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Sticks. This comes in a package of 3. So I use the silver in the outer third. I feel like my lower lid shape is a little flat, you know, so if you have beautiful almond eyes, I would definitely take the liner all the way across to accentuate that. Where I don't, I just tend to do the outer third. I feel that that keeps my eyes looking more pulled up at the outer corner. So for the uppers, I'm going to use the black from the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips. This is for my upper waterline. So I'm just going to kind of lift up and get that right at the base of the lashes. Okay, now some people will not be able to do that because they just can't stand touching something to their waterline, and that's fine. For those of you who don't want to do that, you can just do a standard line on top, which I am going to do with this. I'm going to try to do it well on camera, but it's really hard because I'm so far from my mirror. And then to make a little wing at the outer corner, I'm just going to take that and kind of just make a little baby blob there. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with that. Then I take this Beauty Junkies flat definer brush and I use that to pull the blob into a wing. This is called the blob technique, all right? Pretty soon it's going to be all over YouTube, and that is a super easy way for older people with less than perfect eyelids to still be able to wear a little winged eyeliner. And at the inner corner, I like to gradate my eyeliner down and into the waterline so I can have it just kind of disappear into the inner corner of my eye there. All right, onto the mascara. I always call it the dynamic duo, the Lancome Sil Booster and the Lancome Hypnose Drama. So, I'm just going to prime with Lancome Sil Booster. This really makes any mascara work better, stay longer. Okay, coat of that while it's still wet. I like to get the Hypnose Drama right on there. Next onto the eyebrows, really the frames for the face. I don't do mine every single day, but when I'm doing a full makeup like this, I do. My favorite is the Anastasia Tinted Brow Gel. I have it in Granite, which is kind of the taupey mid-tone brown. This is good if you have eyebrow hair and you just want to enhance it and tame it. If you have to draw your brows on, this obviously is not for that. But it does manage to pick up like every little hair. And for those of you who are wondering, I am still using Rapid Lash. I think that it's still working great on my brows. I felt like it wasn't working so great on my lashes anymore, but I feel like they kind of took a break and now they're coming back again, so it might just be like a growth cycle with my lashes. So there's the eyebrows. I think I messed this one up a little. I just have to go check them off camera to make sure that they are a-okay. All right, on to the lips, and then we'll be done. Now, for those of us who are aging and have the vertical lip lines, one way to keep your makeup inside them is to use a primer. This is a product that I love. This is the NYX Wonder Pencil. It comes in different skin tone, flesh tone shades. So you can just take this and line and prime the upper lip. Of course, that looks so pretty, my little white mustache. That needs to be blended. I have another set of Beauty Junkie brushes. They're mini round brush. This is the mini face brush kit. So I just take this brush and I blend that out. The lippy that I'm going to use does not bleed in there, so I don't really do that often, but I'm just showing it to you for a little tip and trick that you can use. So the liner that I'm going to use today is the Rimmel Exaggerate in the shade East End Snob. It is my absolute favorite everyday go-to lip liner. This is so creamy, it stays on for hours and hours. My lips never dry out when I use this. I love it. And then my favorite lipstick, which you guys all already, if you watch me, know about, is the Too Faced La Creme lipsticks. These are so hydrating and lovely. Again, they don't dry out my lips. I wear them all the time. The one I'm going to put on today is Spice Spice Baby. It's kind of a slightly bricky pink. I use a lip plumper. I put it over the top. This is the NYX Pump It Up Lip Plumper. This one is Elizabeth. That's a little bit of a darker mauve. I use that with a darker lipstick. So I just go ahead and take a big glob of this, put it on the back of my hand, press it into the center of my lipstick, and we're done. Alright, so that's the video for today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are able to find some products of this huge group of things that will work for you and that will give you success, make you feel more confident, more beautiful, and a little bit more youthful. Thank you so much for choosing to watch Hot and Flashy today, and I will see you in the next video. So have a great day. Bye-bye.